There's never been a kid to walk the halls at Salem High School that was easier to like than Adam Ward.
A WDBJ TV news crew was conducting a live interview at the plaza when Vester Lee Flanagan II started shooting.
I believe that she would want her story of love and of beauty and of determination and of rock-solid hard work to be shared with as many people as possible.
And it's a heartbreaking day in Southwest Virginia as the community mourns the loss of two WDBJ-7 journalists shot and killed on live television this morning at Smith Mountain Lake.
A third victim survived the shooting. We're continuing to remember 24-year-old reporter Allison Parker and 27-year-old photographer Adam Ward tonight. The two were killed by Vester Flanagan II, a former troubled employee at WDBJ-7 who clearly targeted his victims. Flanagan later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. WSLS 10's Ananda Rachita kicks off our team coverage live from the command center. So Ananda, let's give our viewers some perspective of how events unfolded there early this morning.
Investigators tell me still heavy police presence out there where the shooting happened, and a lot of us are still in disbelief over what happened. Reporter Allison Parker and photojournalist Adam Ward were out covering a story on Smith Mountain Lake's 50th anniversary. Right before 7 o'clock during her live shot, investigators say Vester Lee Flanagan, who is also known as Bryce Williams, shot and killed Parker and Ward. Flanagan was a former Channel 7 employee who had been fired. Another victim in the shooting is Vicki Garner with Smith Mountain Lake's Chamber of Commerce and is in stable condition. Several agencies from Bedford, Franklin, State Police, and Game and Inland Fisheries were searching for Flanagan. Authorities said he later died at the hospital after shooting himself along Interstate 66 in Fauquier County. Now, meanwhile, our hearts go out to Allison and Adam's loved ones during this time. The Franklin County Sheriff says it's been an emotional day for so many of us.
Both Parker and Ward were residents of Roanoke, Virginia. Let us not forget, they grew up in this area. They were part of our community. We don't want to forget that.
Investigator told me that they'll be out near Bridgewater Plaza where the incident happened for several more hours. It's still unclear how long that may take. In Franklin County, Ananda Rachita, WSLS 10.
We want to pursue the angle a little bit more here about Vester Flanagan and how he led officers more than 200 miles from Smith Mountain Lake all the way up Interstate 66, as Ananda mentioned, in Fauquier County. Police here in Roanoke, meanwhile, found this car belonging to Flanagan. It was parked at the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. Investigators tell WSLS 10 that Flanagan drove this gray Mustang to the airport after the shooting, and then he switched vehicles to a rental car that he'd reserved over a month ago. Investigators say the rental car was the one that he was driving during the police pursuit. And police have impounded the Mustang and they're now processing it for evidence. Dawn Jeffries continues our coverage. She is live tonight in Fauquier County. That's where the chase ended. So, Dawn, what more have you been able to learn from police?
Well, John, Interstate 66 is just behind me here, behind this wooded area. And as you mentioned, it is where the search for Vester Flanagan finally came to an end. Let's take you back to about 11:30 this morning. We'll show you some pictures. State Trooper Pam Neff was sitting on Interstate 81 at the Interstate 66 exit ramp. She'd been there about 15 minutes. You know, on the drive up here, we saw a number of state police at all the exit ramps, pretty much in the medians. They were all on the lookout for a number of different vehicles. Well, Neff tells us that she had just gotten the description of another vehicle to be on the lookout for, and she entered that into her tag reader. That's a device that will scan license plates as they drive by. I'll let you hear her describe what happened next.
As soon as it was entered, it did come up with a positive hit that that vehicle just passed me less than 3 minutes earlier. I let my dispatch know that that vehicle has passed me, and I attempted to catch up to the vehicle, which was traveling eastbound on 66. How fast his speeds were? He was not going that fast. He was not going above the posted speed limit. I waited until I had several other troopers with me to initiate a traffic stop. The suspect vehicle did not stop. Eventually, he did wreck the vehicle on the left-hand side of the road. Exit my vehicle with several other troopers, and we approached the vehicle. Just a gentleman that appeared to be suffering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. State police will not say if Flanagan was conscious when they got to his vehicle.
He was flown to a hospital here in Northern Virginia. He died about 1:30 this afternoon. Live in Fauquier County, Dawn Jeffries, WSLS 10.
Thank you, Dawn. Of course, the shooting unfolded live on air this morning. WSLS 10 has decided we will not show that footage.
Nor will we show any of the video of the shooting that appeared on social media today, including the video that was actually shot by the gunman and then posted to his now defunct Twitter account. Well, nearly 2 hours after this morning's shooting, Flanagan faxed a 23-page document to ABC News, the national ABC News, and called them saying that, quote, authorities are after me and all over the place.
The document is described as a rambling letter with a long list of grievances, including suffering from racial discrimination, sexual harassment, and bullying, and being attacked for being a gay man.
In that document, he says that today's event is a reaction to the racism of the Charleston church shooting, saying, why did I do it? I put down a deposit for a gun on June 19th, 2015. Of course, the church shooting in Charleston happened on June 17th, 2015, just 2 days before. What sent me over the top, he wrote, was the church shooting, and my hollow point bullets have the victim's initials on them. He also said that Jehovah spoke to him and told him to act, and he quotes Virginia Tech mass killer Sung-Wee Cho and commended the actions of the Columbine High School killers Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, saying of Cho's actions, Flanagan says, I was influenced by Sung-Wee Cho. That's my boy right there. He got nearly double the amount that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold got. Just saying.
While it wasn't public, Allison Parker and WDBJ's evening news anchor Chris Hurst were a couple. Today he spoke with us about their love for the business and one another. Chris Hurst holds up a special photo album Allison crafted for him as a gift. It's a compilation of memories they made in their first 6 months together.
We moved in after 8 months, which seems like it's a foolish amount of time to be moving in with someone where we were definitely on the same page of wanting to spend the rest of our life together.
Each moment in this book is a small piece of their love story. Chris says he never intended to date a coworker, but Allison was different.
She was so worth it because the way she would look at me, you know, you can, when you know someone loves you, there's a look in their eyes that looks through you and into you, and she gave that to me every single day.
And Chris says every single day after coming home from work around midnight, he would make Allison breakfast before she headed to the station in the early morning hours. But following their weekend getaway, Chris says leaving for work today, she was different.
She, today, I believe, was the happiest that I had ever seen her. When I sent her in the car on her way to the station today, she was the happiest that I had ever seen her.
Now, in that album I just showed you, Allison left it unfinished for Chris to add future happy memories of their relationship. But after today's events, those pages will never be filled.
Family and friends in the community where Allison grew up are also mourning her loss tonight. WSLS 10's Christina Craig picks up our team coverage in Martinsville.
I spoke to Allison's mother, who says she was taken all too soon and that she had the talent to be a star. I also spoke to faculty members and former teachers at the Martinsville City Public Schools, all who would agree. Former teachers tell us they will always remember the little girl in Allison. She was a well-rounded student. Teachers say they remember her most for her positive attitude, generosity, and a smile that brightened the classroom.
I think that she made a mark on our community. She made a mark on our state. She will be forever remembered for her goodness, for her caring, and for just being the person that she was. So to me, she will always be a shining star.
A gut-wrenching day for everyone whose life Allison touched. At the high school, teachers tell us her death is taking a toll on everybody in this close-knit community. At this point, all who I've spoke to are in shock over the tragic turn of events, many of whom were watching their former student at the time. And some will always remember the little girl in Allison. In Martinsville, I'm Christina Craig, WSLS 10.
Meanwhile, Salem High School workers reflect tonight on the life of one of their former students, photographer Adam Ward. WSLS 10's Bethany Teague reports.
Adam Ward.
He was sort of an underdog, who made you root for him because of his smile, his heart, his enthusiasm for everything.
If there's one thing those close to Adam think of when they hear his name, it's summed up here in this familiar face.
And as soon as he walked in, his smile would light up the room.
Salem High School principal Scott Habib has known Adam since he was a small child.
We all watched Adam grow up.
He knew from the moment they met, Adam was somebody special.
Adam is everything you would want in a son and a student. His heart was bigger than anybody's.
In addition to teaching Adam, Habib saw the young athlete develop his skills on the football field as an offensive lineman. But it was his heart that left an unforgettable impression.
He was sort of a kid, if you said, hey, Adam, it's your turn, he was going to be running 1,000,000 miles an hour with a big smile, just waiting to get in there and do his job.
The Spartan coaching staff knows they will soon have to take the field without Adam there to cheer them on.
Today's a dark day.
But no matter how dark it gets, head coach Steven Magenbauer says the light of that infectious smile will never let him give up.
It was always that consistent positive energy, and that's hard to do in this world, I think, and that was just part of who he was.
As friends, teammates, mentors struggle to comprehend the tragedy, one thing is for sure.
Salem High School and our community is a better place because we all knew Adam Ward.
In Salem, Bethany T, WSLS 10.
So this is, of course, still a developing story. We are continuing to learn more information minute by minute.
And we'll continue our coverage throughout the rest of the newscast and continue to follow this story during our 7 and 11 o'clock newscast. And of course, when we're not on the air, you can get updates on our website, WSLS.com, or on the WSLS app.
And before we head into a commercial break that we must take, we do want to pause for a moment to remember Allison and Adam and reflect upon how much they touched our community.
As the day goes on, we're learning more and more about the troubled professional career of Vester Flanagan, also known on air as Bryce Williams.
Yeah, he'd been fired from WDBJ approximately 2 years ago, and we also know that police were called in on that day to be present as he was escorted from the building and that he did not go quietly. Workers from other stations where he worked have said that he was a troubled employee there as well. And then Flanagan himself, tweeting under his on-air name of Bryce Williams, showed that he had a grudge with both Allison and Adam, saying on social media, Adam went to HR on me after working with him one time. And then he writes, they hired her after that, and then later Allison made racist comments. Now, we do want to point out that as we move on, there was a lone survivor in this morning's shootings. Parker was interviewing Vicki Gardner with the Smith Mountain Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce about the lake's 50th anniversary when the shooting happened.
As WSLS 10's Duke Carter learned today, Gardner is instrumental in her community.
People who knew Vicki Gardner here in the Smith Mountain Lake area say that she loved meeting new people and she was extremely quick-witted. They say she is the face of Smith Mountain Lake. The chairman of the board right here for the Smith Mountain Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce, Troy Keaton, says that she's been at the board for nearly 15 years. She's worked with several project developers who wanted to bring businesses to the area, and people who work with Gardner are glad that she's recovering at the hospital.
She's very outgoing, she's very friendly, she's extremely intelligent. She has done a wonderful job to bring the chamber up to speed, to really advertise Smith Mountain Lake.
Roanoke Memorial workers say Vicki was rushed to the hospital earlier this morning, underwent surgery, and is now currently in stable condition. In Franklin County, Duke Carter, WSLS 10.
Thank you, Duke. Meanwhile, WSLS 10's Bree Jackson has spent the afternoon out in front of WDBJ 7, and that's where she picks up our team coverage now. So, Bree, emotions are running high, and there are still so many questions.
John, there are still so many questions that people in the community want answers to, but right now people are just trying to figure out why something like this would happen. Earlier today, managers from WDBJ did hold a news conference where
having a little trouble with Bree's audio right there. But Lindsay, I think we want to point out to our viewers that you were over there at Channel 7 earlier today.
Yes.
And one of the things that the station manager, Jeff Marks, told you is that some of these allegations that have been made in the manifesto had actually been checked out by authorities.
Unfounded allegations, and he describes him as an angry, he was an angry employee. So he did not leave on good terms. Obviously, we have reported that, and so they did a thorough investigation of all the claims that he made out there against all of the co-workers he had, and they were unfounded. So it is very important to point that out as well.
And again, there's a pattern of this that we have seen from the, now we're learning from the various stations where he worked throughout his career path, not just at Channel 7.
Absolutely. And of course, we want to share our deepest condolences to the families and friends of Allison and Adam tonight. They're from right here in our community, including the entire WDBJ7 family. Stay with us. Jeff will have your Storm Team 10 forecast coming up after the break.
Now, Southwest Virginia's best weathercast, as awarded by the Associated Press.
Welcome back, friends. Your forecast for tonight: fair, comfortable, cool overnight lows 53 to 61. Could there be a stray shower this evening south and east of Roanoke? Sure, there could be. Same thing for the day tomorrow. Stray shower possible. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds, probably more sun than cloud cover. Still pretty pleasant tomorrow with highs 75 to 83. Your next 7 days look like this. We're in the low to mid 80s Friday and Saturday, climbing on up into the mid to upper 80s by early next week. Now, as the temperatures go up, the humidity values will go up as well. Each and every day there's a chance for maybe a stray shower or two, with a better chance for some hit or miss thunder showers on Sunday and also on Wednesday. Appy.
All right, thanks, Jeff. The Redskins suffer a key loss on defense today, and the camp tour checks in at the home of the Colonels. Sports is next.
Now, WSLS 10 Sports from the Blue Ridge Honda Sports Corner.
Welcome back, everyone. The camp tour closing in on the 1st and 10 special coming tomorrow night. Tonight, we are back in Roanoke City as we check in with the William Fleming Colonels in the final week of Camp Tour 2015. Coach Bobby Martin's team an impressive 8-2 in last year's regular season before falling to Eastern View in the first round of the 4A playoffs, the school's first playoff appearance since the 09 season. Coach Martin is in his 3rd season at the Roanoke City School, and with a 5-victory improvement from year 1 to year 2, the sky appears to be the limit for the Colonels.
Just lay the foundation. Hopefully you guys can pick it up. We got a lot of young guys, and we're just trying to get better. We can't rest off of last year. Last year was great for our community and our school, even for this team, but this is a whole new year.
We need to work harder since all my seniors were my linemen. They all gone, so I need to get my new line straight so we can achieve greatness, get back to that 8-3 season.
It's like a daily routine. We just got a bond now that we didn't have, but now we rolling and we clicking. So it's like a daily routine. Come out here and work, and it's all gonna pay off.
Coaches push us every day for the seniors to push the other younger guys, being leaders. He pushes all the time about being a leader on the field and off the field.
Colonels open up at Jefferson Forest in what could be a battle of 4A contenders come playoff time on Friday night. Coming tomorrow night from Glenver High, the 1st and 10 preseason special, 7:30, right here on WSLS 10. Well, he's just been signed, hasn't played a game yet for the Redskins, and now he's gone due to injury. Linebacker Junior Gillette tore an Achilles tendon at the end of practice today. Faces 6 to 8 months of rehab for the injury. The rush linebacker was grabbed up after the Saints released him earlier this summer, and the Skins had hoped he could team up with Ryan Kerrigan to form a strong pass rush combo this season. Some news and notes for you. More sad news as a construction worker was killed, another injured while working on the roof of the Vikings' new stadium. The man who died fell about 50 feet to his death. The second worker seriously injured there. Marshawn Lynch's fine for the NFC title game silence, $75 grand, will be contested tomorrow in a hearing, and the Red Sox are hosting the Hillcats. John, Lindsay, back to you.
All right, thank you, Appy. Meanwhile, during a press conference held earlier this evening, WDBJ managers expressed their condolences. Mourners have also stopped by the station with flowers and balloons. A vigil is planned there tonight at 6:30.
So tonight we're in the midst of a terrible tragedy. 2 innocent victims are dead, and a third, a celebrated leader in our community, is recovering from gunshot wounds. The gunman is also dead after shooting himself while being pursued by police.
He left in his wake a trail of messages that suggested he was disturbed with a significant grudge against his former colleagues, both of whom grew up right here in our area.